I just wanted to check in real quick with you guys and let you know that I just woke up from a nightmare. And it's 3:12 in the morning. And what woke me up was actually a bottle being knocked over on my dresser. So I'm a little freaked out. I just turned the lights on just to make sure, but I'm like a little nervous because obviously 3 o'clock is always that time, and I've been waking up around 2 and 3 every morning, but this morning was the first time that something actually moved in my room, and I usually just tell it to like fuck off. I'm just like, oh my god. I'm like sweating profusely. It's like cold sweats. I'm so tired, but my heart is like racing. It's like super, I'm like really hot right now. My nightmare, I can't even understand. I get why I am terrified, but like it doesn't really relate to me in my everyday life or like at all. So it's weird that I took the emotions of my character in my dreams so hard. I'm gonna try and remember this dream later, but because there's no way I'm gonna be able to tell the whole thing right now. I'm really tired, and it would be great to go back to bed. Good actual morning, you guys. I'm sure you've seen what happened last night, and I am just so tired right now. My dream, to me, real life makes absolutely no sense. Dream life made perfect sense. It made sense as to why I was so terrified, why I was so scared. Great. Awesome. So today is October 22nd, and last night I had a dream. Now, in my dream, I had 2 different perspectives. So one perspective, I was this girl who was dating this kid that was, you know, he's my boyfriend for a while or whatever. And then I ended up wanting to break up with him because I no longer wanted to be with him. And he went a little nuts. So this part of the dream was like a flashback to the past when we were young. So he tried to kill us both by locking us in a house and setting it on fire. Fortunately, by the time firefighters got to the house, the room that I was in was still good. I wasn't on fire. I did inhale a lot of smoke, but he actually had a lot of fire burns all over his face and his body. So they took him to the hospital. He had to heal, la-di-da-da. Then it fast forward a few years. I was now in love and dating one of his best friends. Now, when I was dating his best friend, we went out like on a walk one night. So he had another friend that came up while we were walking, much shorter. And I was like, I never really liked him. Like there was something off about him and I could never pin it. And he saw us walking one day. He's like, oh, hey, what's up, you guys? Where you guys headed? Do you guys want to check out this cool abandoned lighthouse? I think it was a lighthouse. It might have been like one of those houses that's on a river, like the waterfall houses. I don't know what they're called though. And we're like, yeah, sure, why not? Let's go. So we start taking a hike through the woods, and it's the 3 of us, and like something in my gut was just telling me like, I do not like this kid. I don't trust him. Like, what is up with him? Then we get to the the house, and in the middle of the house, well, it's not a real house obviously, but in the middle of the area of like inside of this building, it was like the spinner for the water, and then like there was this huge section of just water so that it would go in and be filtered. I don't know. So then we were like, okay, cool, like we checked it out, let's head out, let's head back. Like that was me. Like I was like, oh, I kind of want to go back home now. I'm like, this is really weird and uncomfortable. And then the shorter kid was like, you're not going anywhere. And we were like, what the hell? Why? And he goes, you really don't remember who I am, do you? And we were like, what do you you talking about? Like, relax, chill. I think his name was Caleb. And so, yeah, his name was Caleb. The kid that I was dating was, I never got his name, but the ex that tried to kill us both, his name was Jonathan. So Caleb started coming up to my boyfriend in the dream at the time. And my boyfriend's like, bro, chill. Like, what are you talking about? And Caleb was like, you are so fucking stupid. And my boyfriend was like, bro, seriously, what are you talking about? And Caleb had like this shape-shifting mask on, or like the ability to shape-shift, or like it was just something along those lines where he can change what he looked like. And he goes, really? And as he's saying really, he's literally transforming his entire face to this kid, my ex, that had burn marks all over him. Like, in my dream, it was so weird because like I knew who he was. Like, I was like my heart dropped. Like, I was so fucking terrified of this kid. And he goes, it's me, Jonathan Batros, you fucker. And we were both like, what? Dude, we thought you got sent to like a mental asylum or something like that. Like, how are you out here? What? I've known you since we were like, you were in middle school kind of thing, or not middle school. Well, he knew the Jonathan Batros guy since middle school, but the kid that he resembled, he knew since high school. And he was like, oh, like basically Jonathan Batros was just like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. You got with my girlfriend. She's mine. She's not supposed to be yours. And then he like turns and looks at me in my dream, and he was like, and you two, you're gonna fucking die because we were supposed to die together. Blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, oh my God, oh my God. So then they start fist fighting, and like they're literally fighting each other, and Jonathan Batros takes my boyfriend and throws him into the water, and he tries to come after me, and I was just like I didn't know what to do. I kind of threw some punches at him, and he went to grab my arm, but as he grabbed my arm, my boyfriend was in the water and grabbed his leg and pulled him, so he kind of fell, face smacked into the side of the pavement, and he dragged him into the water. And now at this point they're both wrestling each other, like trying to drown each other. And I was just like, oh my God, stop. And I was like, Jonathan, leave him alone. And I was like trying to reach in the water for one of them to like pull them back up out of the water. And when it like went quiet, like the water was just still, and I was like, Jonathan. And then I said, babe. And there was like no response, and I waited a few seconds. I stood up, I'm shaking, took a few steps back, and this one guy comes out of the water. I see his back, the water's dripping off of him, and he turns around, and it's Jonathan Batros, and his face just gives me like this death glare, where like, I guess when he got burned, he like, his sides of his, like the Joker, like the sides of his faces were like burnt, like New Joker 2052 or whatever. You know how he's like stitched? Well, this kid was like burnt like this, so they took his face and stretched it back. And he turns around and he looks at me with that death glare or whatever, and he's like, I'm coming for you now. So he starts running out of the water, and I'm running, screaming through the woods at the top of my lungs. And I was just like, leave me alone. I didn't do anything. Like, why are you like this? Why are you so crazy? Why, like, what did I do? Like, I just didn't understand why this kid was so obsessed with me and wanted to freaking kill me. And he was like, you're only mine. You're nobody else's. I don't know who you think you are. Like, just yelling random stuff. And I just keep running and running. And then all of a sudden, my peripheral switches to, it's now nighttime, and I'm down near a farmhouse. And at the farmhouse, I see that there's a couple cars outside. And some people are like walking into their house, and I just booked it for one of the cars. I closed all the doors, locked them all. One guy was like, "What are you doing in my car? Like, get out of my car." And I was like, "No." And I was like crying, and I was like trying to catch my breath. And he's like, "What's wrong with you?" And then all of a sudden I hear like Jonathan Batros, and he's like yelling out my name. And I think my name in my dream was like Angela. Angela. And then the guy was like, "What the fuck?" So he like turns around. He's like, "What the hell?" And when he turns around to look around, Jonathan Batros literally slams him up against the car, lays a few punches on him, and knocks him the fuck out. I was just like, I was like, oh my god, oh my god. And I was so terrified in this car. I didn't know what to do. Other people were like, "Hey, what's going on out here?" I'm like honking the horn, honking the horn. And somebody comes out with a gun, finally. And I was like, "Help me, please help me." And then Jonathan Batros turns around and looks at the entire, like the group of people that came out. And one of the girls was like yelling because her man's is knocked out on the floor, like, "What?" The other guy has like this double barrel shotgun pointed at him. And Jonathan Batros is like, "What are you gonna do? Kill me? Are you gonna shoot me? Come on, do it if you're gonna do it." And I was like, "Just do it, just do it." Like, I was like, "Kill him, just do it, I want him gone." And then he like ran behind a car and shapeshift back into his other form. So when he came back out, he was like, "Oh my god, is everything okay? I heard you guys yelling and screaming." And they were like, "Oh yeah, everything's good, everything's fine. You just were looking for this other kid. You're not him though." And I was like, "No, that's him, that's him." And they were looking at me like, "What?" And I was like, it's him, I swear it's him." And like they were like caught off guard, so like when they go back to turn to look at him, he's already he was like laying one right on the guy holding the shotgun, and everybody's like, "What the hell? What the hell?" And then he like looks up and looks at them, and he shapeshifts back into his Jonathan Batros form. And I was like, I told you, run!" And they were like, "What the hell?" So they started running back in the house. And I was just like, what the hell is happening? Like, what the hell? So he goes after those people in the house, and I try to go for this body that's right here, because obviously he's knocked out. So I try to see if he has a cell phone. And I find a cell phone, and I dial 911, and I'm screaming at them, they need to come help us because we're all dying. We're being murdered by this guy. Finally, the cops show up, and they put like 4 or 5 bullets in this kid. Finally. And he drops, he's dying or he's dead. And as he's dying, he's literally laughing. And he says, "Don't worry, I'm gonna come for you." And I was just like, what? Why? Like, why? And then my dream flashed forward another few years, and apparently he had a brother. His brother was a little bit special needy. But I was still terrified of his brother just as much as I was terrified of the ex. And one night the little brother came over, was trying to come over to me, whatever it was. I was trying to walk towards my car, and I just was like trying to disregard this kid. I was like, no, leave me alone. And I get in the car, and I'm hyperventilating and breathing really fast because they looked similar. Like, you look at him and you're just like, oh my god, like he looks just like his brother. I'm sure you have had one of those incidences. And I'm like freaking out. I start crying. I'm holding the steering wheel. I'm crying. And I'm like, oh my god, leave me alone. Just please leave me alone. And then like I look over at him, and he's like, "What's wrong? Why are you crying?" I said, "You look like your brother. Please leave me alone." And he was just like, I'm sorry. And then like the mom was like, "Get over here, Jordan. Come here. Come here, Jordan." And like she was like, "Leave her alone. Don't bother her." And literally like in the middle of me hyperventilating and having flashbacks to this kid trying to murder me for the second time, I was like, that's when I was like starting to wake up and getting to light sleep. It was just like weird because as I was like getting into light sleep, I heard one of my water bottles just knock over. Like it was like this, and then my water bottle went just like that, and I instantly went boom. Like, what was that? Then I was laying there, And even if I look around my room, I can't see anything. I'm blind as a bat and it's dark. So I was just like, what the hell? And my dog was laying perfectly fine in his crate, nothing to worry about. And I was just like, that just had to be a coincidence. Like, and then to top it off, it was like 3:11 in the morning. And I was just like, that's when I had that little clip from this morning, from earlier, because I was like, my heart was racing. I was literally sweating. Like, the feeling and emotion in my dream last night was so much. Like, I could feel how terrified I was of this kid. And I've never met or been in that situation ever. So it was really weird to me. And I don't know. I don't know what it was about that dream, because for me, like I said, for me in my day life, like, that has nothing to do with me. Like, I've never been in that situation, never had that experience. So I'm just like, okay. But in my dream, I could feel the fear and the terrorism and like the just like being so terrified. Like, I could feel every emotion this girl was feeling in my dream. And I was just like, oh my God. Like, I couldn't imagine having to feel like that. Like, it was so draining of energy. So that was my nightmare last night, I guess, because I was terrified. I woke up at 3 in the morning. I was sweating bullets. So I don't know. I don't really get that dream. There wasn't a lot of, whatchamacallit, there wasn't a lot of like talk, but I was trying to explain it as well as I could. And I think I did a pretty good job today, but I know sometimes I have like really high energy, or I have like no energy telling you guys my stories, but I think you can tell based upon the stories that I tell how much of a toll they take on me energy wise, because today's was just like at the top. Now I have to get ready for work and head on out. I am so tired. I hope I have an earlier day today, because I really want to go to bed earlier, but tomorrow's payday, Friday, baby. I can't wait. But yeah, let me know if you've ever, what was your craziest nightmare that made no sense to you, but in your dream you were absolutely terrified at? Please comment it down below. I would love to hear it. Have a good one, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.